head into our Banter Sportsbook. This is where we put our sports knowledge, predictions, and reputation on the line. From the biggest games, hottest storylines, to championship races, surprise contenders, and much more. We're covering everything that happens across the sports world. So no betting slip is required, only if you really want it. We're just going to talk sports, strong opinions, and plenty of banner. So we're going to open up our books and discuss some NBA trade news and just NBA draft recap. We can start with the trade news. Biggest one. How long have we been waiting for this trade, Tim? Maybe 3 years?
Yeah, it feels like forever. And
We've
it was
been waiting
like,
a few years.
yeah, it was the biggest tease.
Yeah,
for
forever.
this.
Yeah, but it finally happened. You can say we finally got that. We got what we were promised. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Nice.
It was probably still very butchered.
Yeah,
But getting
close enough.
traded to the Miami Heat. He's going along with Bobby Portis, and the Bucks are receiving Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Khalil Ware, Kasparas Jakunis, 3 future first round picks, 1 pick swap, and 1 second round pick. So quite a haul for the Bucks. I'll let you start, Tim. What do you think of this trade overall?
Bucks stole from the Heat altogether. I think that they easily win this trade. Giannis refuses to stay healthy at this point in his career, and I don't feel like him and Bam will gel well together. It's kind of a combo that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. You know, both playing down low. How much of the key are you going to share? I don't see how it's going to gel. Now they have no guards as well. So, you know, even any of their starters that are there, like they have 0 bench to go along with it because they trade a lot of it. And they traded any future of having it with the 3 first round picks. It just, yeah, I think that the Heat got absolutely fleeced. And I think if this trade happened, 3-4 years ago, okay, much more even. And then Bobby Portis, I've placed some wagers on him in the past. You know, he's decent for some rebounds. I like how animated he can get at times, but outside of that, this point in his career, Bobby Portis, again, it's just another big, like you're just going to sub him in when, you know, Bam or Giannis gets tired. And that's about it. But I think that surrounding wise, this is one of the worst teams that Giannis has ever had. I think he goes to a much better coaching situation for sure with the Heat. But outside of that, I don't like it. And then for the Bucks, you have Tyler Hero coming back home, Milwaukee native, gets to play in Milwaukee. Jaime Jaquez, big fan of his, local kid here in Ventura County. I think he's a great talent, very versatile, does it all, really fills up his stat sheet. I think he's a phenomenal addition. You have the 3 firsts to go along with it. And then who was the third player, or was it
Khalil Ware?
Yeah, another great player. And now all of a sudden the Bucks have all this young talent. And I one of the draft picks they already used today, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that they got the kid out of Tennessee. Might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's who they drafted.
Nate Ament, Tennessee.
Yeah. No, and looks great. I think he looks like a good big. So, you know, develop him as best you can. And there's your big replacement for Portis and Giannis leaving. So, again, I think this is an easy fleece by the Bucks. And quite frankly, I think the Celtics should count themselves lucky they didn't trade for him. I don't know if this is just, it's not even bitterness of the Warriors not getting involved with it. It's more just, we haven't really seen Giannis play much. He's just been so injured. And I was looking through his stats. He hardly ever finishes over 70 games played in a season. Yeah. So I don't see it. Great talent, but yeah.
Yeah, for me, I still think the Bucks win it. If Giannis could stay healthy, this could be one of the scariest backcourts. Bam, Giannis, and Andrew Wiggins still is able to produce quite a bit. He's on the down decline. He's at 31. But still, But then yeah, after that you mentioned the guards. Davion Mitchell, Norman Powell. Norman Powell's 33, dude. Like that dude's he did a lot with the Clippers and that's how he got his payday for Miami, but he ain't Tyler Hero. He ain't young like Jaime Jaquez. Um Davion Mitchell, not the same product as his brother, Donovan Mitchell. So there's a lot of question marks. What they're gonna do, especially with their cap space. Giannis is an expensive player, taking up a lot of cap space, and Norman Powell, $20 million player right there. You know, taking up a lot of cap space. Um, yeah, the Bucks. I think they're rebuilding around Tyler Hero. Jaime Jaquez could be a great piece, and honestly, finally be on a team that isn't really dominated and can maybe be that X factor. Khalil Ware, always a great big, in Miami, always did decent. So I think they're good. And three future first round picks. If Miami, Giannis or Bam get injured, that's going to be a top 10. That's going to be a lottery pick. And the way some of these lottery picks go for some of these teams, it could be a number one pick. And man, getting that for the Bucks and not having to pay Giannis, they're set. So it's looking good. But like I say, but if Giannis can stay healthy, Bobby Portis can stay healthy and play peak Bobby Portis game, this could be a somewhat of a good team and scary team. But there's still a lot of missing pieces and question marks I have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I somebody said yesterday in one of the comments that like this is a team that will score just under 100 a night, and I agree. You have two main scorers in a nice add-on with Wiggins.
Yeah.
I experienced Wiggins, phenomenal for that championship run we had with him. After that, yeah, he went pretty non-existent in a lot of games. So he has it in him, but it's a tall ask to ask them to stay healthy when it comes to, especially to Giannis. So again, yeah, I really feel like the Bucks did well.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you look at the Bucks roster, center, it most likely will be Khalil Ware, but they got backup Miles Turner. Miles Turner is a beast still.
Yeah,
That guy could
he's
do
great
a
on the
lot.
boards and blocks too.
Yeah. Forwards, they got Jaime Jaquez, Usman Dang, Kyle Kuzma, Tarian Prince. So, I think Jaime Jaquez could get into that starting rotation easily and develop. Kyle Kuzma probably has to be shipped out. He's eating up 21 million, so they could get someone else
for no reason.
Yeah. And then guards, this is where I think they do pretty well. Gary Trent, Ryan Rollins, Kevin Porter, Tyler Hero, Gary Harris. So like they got solid guards, and now with Tyler Hero, a shooter, like this is a team that can make a good run if they add a few more additional pieces.
Absolutely. It's a very formidable team all of a sudden. Really well balanced. And yeah, I think they're positioned well, especially with the East being known as, the weaker conference. It makes this trade makes a ton of sense. It's good that they took advantage of Giannis's trade value at this point. It was a smart time to trade him, but yeah, it makes a ton of sense. And in Jaquez, yeah, I think we could see a lot of triple doubles out of him this upcoming season. I forgot about Kevin Porter being there. Gary Trent can put up, quite a few points a game. He can kind of go on runs. So, yeah, I mean, the team sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other, you could say big trade, Minnesota, Brooklyn, and it looks like Chicago was in it as well. Brooklyn receiving Julius Randle from Minnesota and the number 28 pick in this draft, which they use on Koa Pete. Pet Pete or Pet? He's an AZ guy, right? The Wildcat.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So they picked him up in Brooklyn. Minnesota getting the number 33 pick. Um, and then a player to waive, and then Chicago. It says Chicago receiving Nick Claxton. Um,
Good
were
big.
they? Yeah, yeah. So like I say, decent. I think Minnesota was just trying to make up cap room, and Julius Randle hasn't really been a great fit for Minnesota in my mind. They let him go for from New York, and look what New York did. The players they gave up. Um, might be regretting it a little bit now.
Yeah, I think so. They Julius Randle's one of those guys who's a tough fit anywhere. He's a big who can shoot a three, a bit more ball dominant. He can have decent rebounding numbers at times, but um, he can have games where he puts 60 up, but then he'll have 5 in a row that he barely gets into double digits. It's just very fluky type player, very good player, but just the consistency isn't there enough. And I think he's going to have a tough time no matter what team. I think Brooklyn's honestly a great landing spot for him
Yeah.
because he can just kind of do his thing. Because Brooklyn, cool city, I guess to go to and be the face of the franchise, but with the Knicks just winning a championship, nobody's going to bat an eye at you, unfortunately. And yeah, Claxton going to the Bulls, good big going there. But one thing is, I think the Wolves are really trying to make Anthony Edwards happy. And you mentioned it, clearing up some cap space. I would keep some eyes on what the Wolves do the rest of this offseason. I think that they could be involved in a big trade. I think that they've been kind of rumored with Kevin Durant possibilities. Supposedly they tried going for him around the deadline last year, which would have been crazy because he has barely been with Houston. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. I think that they got to do a lot to try to keep Anthony Edwards happy because he's, I'm sure, very fed up with being competitive in the playoffs but never making it over the cusp.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they gotta make him happy. KD, man, if this is another move for KD, I don't know. This might be his last move. Um, but yeah, they're probably gonna make a big move because they know they got to do it this year or next year, or else he's gonna walk. And that's a player you don't want to let him. You don't Edwards, that you don't let him walk because he's Jordan-esque type of a player.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so we'll sort of see, but yeah, I think after the Knicks winning, most exciting NBA news after that NBA draft was today, round one. Round two is occurring tomorrow, but we'll go through some of the pick. Wizards taking AJ Debonatsa from BYU. Not a surprise. I think everybody expected it. Uh, I didn't hear any rumors of Jazz trying to trade up. Did you hear anything?
None. Just the only rumors was AJ not working out for any teams, and then Peterson only working out for the Wizards, trying to advocate for himself to be that first overall pick. I don't know. I just think people think about Utah and they don't really want to live there. But Utah looks like a scary good team.
Yeah, I think it's a very scary good team. Watch out for Utah. Wizards also just extended Trey Young, right?
They sure did.
What did they?
Quite a few buckaroos with that. I think he's supposed to be getting 40 to 50 mil a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's considerable. So, and then
Yeah,
pair that, you
something
still got
like
AD
that.
there.
So, like I say, Wizards. I think Wizards think. Go ahead.
Sorry, it's lagging a bit. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, you still have KD there. Then you pair that with you still have Sar. He's a great young talent. All of a sudden, the Wiz look pretty good.
Yeah. Wizards could look pretty good, pretty dangerous. But yeah, AJ round 1, Darren Peterson number 2, pretty obvious. Grizzlies taking Cameron Bruiser. I think everybody expected that as well. Um, Good place for him as well with the Grizzlies. The Bulls taking Caleb Wilson. I think that was the prediction, and then my Clippers taking Keaton Wagler. It's what I kept on seeing as predictions as who was going to fall to us at number 5, and I'm happy with it. I think it's a great piece for our team and to possibly start our rebuild after these next few years, or after maybe this year, depending on what Kawhi does. But happy with this pick. Don't think it's one of these picks that we have wasted the way we have wasted first round picks in the past, like top first round picks. So I'm happy with my team's pick.
Yeah, no, I think that was a phenomenal pick. A lot of great talk with Wags all together, and now you're reaping the reward with that pick because that's the swap from Indiana. Letting go of Zubac. So I know it was one that hurt your soul there, John, but one that I think is going to pay off.
Yeah, I think it'll pay off. But yeah, the Nets taking Mikal Brown, Kings taking Darius Acuff, Hawks Kingston Flemings, Mavericks Morris Johnson Jr. from Michigan, Bucks Braden Burries, Arizona, and then your Warriors taking Yaxel Lendenberg, Michigan. And I think this is a guy you were talking about.
Yeah. Hire me, Warriors, if you guys just want any advice. I think you guys did a great job, though. This is the dude I wanted. We're picking in the draft. This is, smaller, big. It's a kind of a commonplace for what the Warriors like to do. We don't really go for those, oversized bigs really ever. So Yaxel, great addition, very versatile big, obviously coming off of a national championship win, and dude's an absolute beast. I think he started playing basketball later in life, but has absolutely excelled and done a tremendous job getting to where he's at now. And I think he's one of those players that can make an immediate impact. I think that he plays a position that we absolutely need. We're filling a large void where he's going to be playing. So pairing that with, how the offense runs, obviously there's a lot of off-ball movement. I think he's excellent for it. So Yaxel, God, might have to look at a jersey. But very thrilled with this pick. We did exactly what I want.
Yeah, no, it's a good pick.
To mention, little possible disagreement fight going on between Dunleavy and Lakeup in the picks room for the Warriors.
Okay.
Was on Twitter. Evan, part of the family, messaged me and Chris about it, and we're like, oh. And then my response was just kind of like, I wish he would have bought the Padres and just let Dunleavy do his job as well.
Yeah. I still think it's Dunleavy has to go, put Steve Kerr up there and hire a new coach. I think Steve Kerr is at that point in his coaching career where he has to just be a GM, do those other decisions and let someone else coach. And nothing against Dunleavy. I think he's been a good GM. He's been good for the squad, but I think it's time for that change. I think coaching change is what's needed in Golden State.
Yeah. If my dreams would have been met, it would have been they did that several years ago after their last championship and Mike Brown took over as head coach. That would have been so good. But here we are.
Yeah, here we are. But yeah, after that, like I said, I think most of the draft went the way it went. Fellow New Zealander now, Kareem Lopez, a Piston. With the Pistons, he was part of the New Zealand Breakers. New Zealand has some solid basketball players, so great to see that.
First Mexican national to be drafted in the first round as well. He's
Yeah.
I forget where about in Mexico he's from, but he was also that player that was rumored with the Warriors early on
Hmm.
in early predictions. So pumped. It
Yeah.
seems like a great player.
Yeah. Seems like a good player. So, but yeah, that's about all NBA. I think second round will be a little interesting. See what draft day trades. See what some of these other names that haven't been drafted, where they get drafted, or do get drafted, or signed on as a free agent.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. I think there's a lot more to be seen with, a lot of the NBA. I think that there's going to be more parity with trades. Some teams to keep an eye out for.
Mm-hmm.
Jaylen Brown. I think that
Jalen
might be
Brown.
our next trade announcement. I'm not going to
It,
lie.
it could be like I mentioned. I wouldn't have been surprised to see us try to move back up into the first round with our later picks and maybe even moving on from Kawhi. But I also know Kawhi, the way he ended his season. If he can stay healthy like that all next season, we we could be a team to be afraid of a bit. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully Kawhi stays healthy. But we'll see. Yeah, what draft day trades and what else happens. I think a lot's going to happen. Jalen Brown's one. KD's always one to talk about. Draymond Green, you ready to move on from him? I think he should be dealt.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we will. But I think it would be nice. It would be nice. But I think that we would have tried to go for some type of draft compensation. So at this point, I don't think we will. I think he's going to be a
Yeah.
lifelong Warrior.
Which is
I've
okay.
accepted it.
You've
I've
accepted it.
accepted
Yeah.
it. Yep.
But that's our banter sports book. Not much more sports news out there.